Hello, this video is going to demonstrate how I cooked my food on the Appalachian Trail. There are a lot of different options out there for stoves and pots, etc., but this is just what I used and what worked for me. So, my pot was a 700 milliliter titanium pot from Snow Peak. When you buy it, it looks like this, but my pot is pretty blackened from using it on fires a lot. And that was my favorite thing about this pot, because a lot of other pots you can't use on fires. Maybe they'll have like rubber around the handles or something, or like for example you can't put a jetboil on a fire or something like that. But that's a pretty easy way to cook, and if you're cooking on a fire you're saving money because you don't have to pay for the fuel. So I did that pretty much whenever I could. But yeah, this pot is awesome. One of my favorite pieces of gear for sure. It comes with a lid that works well for straining or anything, and I think 700 milliliters is a perfect size for one person. It always fit anything that I was trying to cook in it, pasta sides or macaroni and cheese, whatever. Yeah, so I like this pot a lot. I would definitely recommend it. My spork was also from Snow Peak. It's also a titanium spork. Not much to say about that. It worked really well. So, yeah. My stove, I made myself out of a cat food can. This is an alcohol stove. It's pretty beat up right now, but it lasted the whole way, which I was surprised that it did. Yeah, this is really easy to make. You can look up tutorials online on how to do it, but basically you just punch holes in the side in like a zigzag pattern, and there you go. So the advantages to a stove like this are that it's really cheap. You just have to pay for the cat food can, or like maybe you have a friend who has a cat or something. It is super lightweight. It basically weighs nothing, and yeah. I guess the disadvantages to this are it's not as efficient as a canister stove, and it's a little bit more of a process to cook with this, but it worked fine for me. I would store it in this like little pouch that I sewed out of just like an old scrap of fleece. It's pretty beat up right now because I like burned it so many times, but yeah, it was just like a little pocket that I would kind of keep the stove in for like a little bit of cushioning. And then I would also use this as a pot holder, which, you know, worked really well, but you can also just use a bandana or something like that. So I liked having an alcohol stove because I could always tell exactly how much fuel I had left, and I would know when to buy more. And I could also use the fuel to start fires if I really needed to. Alcohol fuel is really easy to find along the trail. You can just go to a gas station or something, or Walmart will have it too. So denatured alcohol is the same thing as yellow heat antifreeze. So that costs about like $2 or $3 a bottle, and yeah, whenever this would get low, I would just look for that stuff, and it was never really an issue. So to cook with this stove, all that you have to do is I would just kind of fill it up to like the bottom row of holes. Obviously if you fill it any higher, the fuel is going to spill out the sides. And just make sure there's nothing around it to like catch on fire. Obviously I never really timed it, but I would say my water would be boiling in under 10 minutes for sure. So water's in the pot. Now to start this, you just well, if the lighter works. Okay, yeah, you just put the flame like close to the pot. Close to the stove, and you might not be able to see it, but the fuel has caught fire and it's going now. So you just put the pot on top of there. It fits great, and just stick the lid on. And yeah, it'll heat up your water and be boiling eventually. A lot of people who use alcohol stoves will use a windscreen, like out of some heavy-duty aluminum foil or something. I actually never did. I never carried one. It certainly would have made it more efficient. I don't know why, I just never carried a windscreen. I would just kind of, like if it was particularly windy, I would just put my hands around it like this to kind of block the wind, and I would just, you know, try to cook out of the wind whenever I could, just be mindful of where I would, you know, be cooking. I also one time I saw someone who had stacked up some rocks around the stove that kind of blocked the wind, which is a good idea. But yeah, so this is pretty much it. I will say that I didn't really cook on this stove that much. I mean, I would make pasta or something if it was, you know, cold at night or something, but in the summer, I didn't really eat that kind of stuff at night. I would just kind of have, like, I don't really know, something on a tortilla or something like that, some kind of snack food at night. But I guess I did make coffee a lot, so I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I would really just cook on fires whenever I could instead of using this stove, but it worked well. You know, if I just wanted to make something quick, or it was raining and hard to start a fire or something like that. Yeah, so this is just what worked for me. I hope this helps anyone who is considering through hiking or is going on any kind of backpacking trips in the future. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. Bye.